I got us a Troy Build, I'm sorry, it's a Craftsman. Yeah, they got the same thing anyways. Over here we have the only man's cologne that a man should wear if they choose to wear cologne or something that stinks. 40% DEET in there, you know, won't hurt me. Make me special, but it won't hurt me. You know, if you're joining me accidentally here, do me a favor, and you know, I'm not panhandling, but I'm panhandling for subscribers. So if you like what you see here, and you want to keep entertaining me, or I should say encouraging me to do bad things, get me out of this tiny garage and hook me up. You know, more subscribers, more money. More money, more problems. So, the reason I jacked that up is because when I was, I'm gonna lower you down. I don't know. And if I had more money, I'd have a camera, dedicated camera person, right? I wouldn't have to buy all the camera and equipment. And but if you notice, maybe you can't see it so well. The blade guard there is bent down, so we'll give that a good whack and bend that back up in place. The blade does look a little bent, but the bigger problem is that he said it was smoking for him, and then now it's shutting off, which is a little bit of a problem. You know, when you're trying to mow. And this has the Briggs and Kraken 21 horsepower in it. And if you've never removed one of these, they're pretty simple to remove. We're going to troubleshoot this because he said it was kind of chugging and having a hard time to get up the hill. Now, it could be simply that it's a fuel related issue, but we'll take an opportunity here and examine some things. Sorry, the air quality is a little terrible out here, and I had some peanut butter pretzel bites or whatever they are. So you'll hear me clearing my throat a lot. And I know I apologize about that all the time, but I'd say that air filter's seen better days, so we're gonna chuck that anyway. And I don't know if something was trying to build in there, but it sort of looks like it was. Maintenance is key to everything here. Sorry about that in a minute. Oil's seen better days. And the fuel filter itself has seen better days, and I'm sure that it's been a minute since this fuel filter has been changed. It's just a screen on this one. I usually put a clear filter in them so you can see what's going on. There's no oil to indicate whether or not there was a problem with the head or the gasket or valve cover. I don't know if it was washed but this one's actually ominously clean on the bottom side of it. I'm looking for places where oil usually spills at, and there are no signs on this one of any oil leakage. But what we're going to do, and the battery's dead, you know, on this thing, and it's, as they say, deader than a doornail. I looked that up, Google that. What do they say, deader than a doornail? Interesting. And for the guys who complain about me talking too much, go somewhere else. I don't care. I mean, I do, but you know, I can't make everybody happy. So I have to make myself happy. I don't want to burn myself here either. But I enjoy those guys who make those comments as well. I love you as well. Tell your mom I said hi. And I'm going to try to work around the engine stand here. I'm trying to get Daniel out there to pull that Explorer engine. So I know this isn't normally what I would do to pull it off, but is it that guy? Up. Make sure we're going the right way. So I'll pull the spark plug. I'll run a compression test in it. We'll do a leak down test. We'll look at the spark plug. Spark plug looks a little wet, so it smells. I guess it does smell like oil. I mean, it is a little wet. I don't know if you can see that in the video here, but looks like it's been in there for a minute. And the gap kind of looks a little close in that, but we aren't going to check that. We'll just replace that guy. So we'll do a compression test and a leak down test, just so we can kind of identify whether or not it's a head gasket. I kind of suspect, based on the amount of grass and land that this guy is mowing, that it is. And based on his accounts of what happened up till or proceeding to the chugging and struggling of the engine. And I mean, these Intex, I mean, this is a 21 horsepower. They weren't terrible units. They're actually pretty decent units. Bad thing is that his, like I said, his battery's dead. So let me find my jump pack here. There's my jump pack. And basically, we're looking for anything above 90 psi. And because I drove it in here, it has compression. That I am not necessarily, it has compression. We just don't know if it has good compression or if the gasket is indeed failed. So let's you only really need to have it go over 3 times, around 3 times. There goes that stupid fuel screen. So we have 100 psi, so we got good compression. That's pretty decent for this unit. Not terrible. The bad thing is I'm going to pause this while I make an arrangement with my air compressor. So we might hear that air compressor run a little bit because I got fittings that, hang on here, biscuits. I got fittings that are a little bit out of sorts. Tighten them up a little bit, we're good to go. I think that was a lot of scams on purchases. A lot of scams on purchases. The OTC, the hose, the compressor came from Lowe's, or as I affectionately call it, blows. The mosquitoes are swarming, but they are not biting. Need a 3/8 socket to the front of this. And a proper way to do this is to have a locking tool. I do not have a locking tool. I probably have a flywheel around somewhere I can make a locking tool. And with this guy here, you want to make sure that there's a little screw right in the air filter box. Let me pull you over there. So you want to remove the wheel dipstick. Oops, sorry. And then down in here is a little tiny flathead, or like, I don't know, 5/16 or something like that. Something like 1/4 inch, I don't know, maybe it was 1/4. And then of course in the back side, you'll need a 3/8 wrench, because why make enough room in there to go ahead and get a socket in there. Is that, what is it, 1/4 maybe down in there? Yeah, so it's a 1/4. It almost looks like somebody had that out once before for whatever reason. So let's loosen these guys up in the back. These are also from Blues. The ratcheting cobalt set. However, if you strip or break one, you have to take the whole set back. And if you're really lucky, you get a pleasant customer service rep who tells you that you need to also bring a receipt. So, just a FYI, even though it says hassle-free warranty right on the container, I came over with like a 7/16 ratchet, and I needed it quickly. I was hoping they would just swap out one, and the girl was like, "Oh, I'd bring the whole set back." So I brought the whole set back, and then after I brought the whole set back, she told me I needed a receipt. So then I had to go home, call Cobalt to get a return authorization number. So that was fun. Yeah, that little screw was kind of already out of there, but that's guy. Oh, these are all the way through. Sometimes you get lucky and they're split, but I guess maybe they're all the way through in the bag too. I guess we'll find out in a minute. And like that, you're in. So sometimes you see critters and they build nests in here. The hardest part when putting these back in is getting this piece of tin back in place. And somebody else will be like, "Oh, don't put any metal down in there." You do you, man. I mean, you know. So I've been at this a little while, so I do. I usually grab the end of my. I'm not saying that you can't, mess it up there, but so right there's about where you want to be at. With bigger flywheels, this guy's a little bit harder to keep in place. You can try to hold it by hand, is what I'm going to do today. And sometimes you can lock the starter wheel in here too, and then hold it in place just by prying up on the bottom of the starter wheel and holding the gear in the up position with a flat head or something like that. So bad thing is, because this one's a plastic one, not a metal one, that one may break out. So we won't do that today. We will simply try to finagle my hose in here and hope that I have enough strength and gumption to do this. And hopefully we're lucky and it's not a gasket, head gasket. It's just a valve latch adjustment. Ooh. Like I said, we'll use the OTC cylinder leak test to make sure. I don't know where we're at with that. Hopefully like it's got good compression. No. Unless that intake. So maybe it's just a valve issue. A little bit. You can hear it. No, there we go. Wait for that. Hopefully that'll shut off pretty quickly. And pause it while we wait to. Of course, I hit the wrong button and hit the stop buttons, and I got to stitch the video together. That sucks. Ow. There we go. That's how you get hurt. That's why that's why I could learn from my mistakes. That's why it's good to have a unit in there holding that. Definitely coming out of the intake pretty quick. Yeah, I almost would have sucked the screen. I'll cut your fingers up. And that's why I was saying, if you're smart, I really should have just done this to begin with. Instead of being a goon, if you put this gear up in here, I don't know if we can get it to. Come on. You can kind of hold it there, and then lock it in. But it's a plastic cog, so I can't jam anything in there. But that being said, even with a little bit of pressure in there, there we go. Again, past top dead center, and almost taking a finger off, but just here it goes. Yeah. Oh, maybe it is. Definitely hear it in the crank. So it's definitely coming out of there. Which isn't good either, because that means air is slipping past the valves. The piston could be just valves because yeah. So let's pull the cover. So shut this off. You can hear, I can hear the air slipping by there. So without further ado, we'll dig into, well, and give him a call, but we can pop the valve cover off and we can check the valve lash real quick. And then anything beyond that we'll have to discuss, because we'll need a head gasket and at least with this one, you know, I don't have to pop the flywheel for anything. Critters building nests, and they wreck everything. Yeah, so let me pause the video. We'll pull. Actually, I guess let me pull the. We'll pull the valve cover real quick. You can watch along in some other videos I do with the head gaskets that I've done on mowers and stuff. But let's pull the valve cover gasket and just take a gander at that. Do I have another? I got here. Listen to the dog making carrying on, crazy animal. Boy, I thought I had a pan. Oh, let's see if we can catch it all with another valve cover. We'll try. Nope. Came up a lot easier than it should have. So that's a weird stain too, sitting at the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's definitely a weird stain. Let's throw this over here. So, I mean, that's loose. So at that point, they should both be shut. And we got air coming through the intake. So, yeah, that means we got a breach somewhere in that gasket. Shouldn't have air coming in there, and I'll show you a head gasket in a second here. I think I got an OEM. I don't know if I have one for this big of a size of one, so I'll have to probably buy a head gasket for this one. See if we got an over. I'll almost drop the whole box of them. Okay, here's what we wanted to show you. So when you pressurize the cylinder, air shouldn't leak past here and to this side. So in this particular case, we're gonna be backwards a little with it. I guess it'd be more like this. You're gonna have it on the cylinder, and have your push rods coming through here, and we're pressurizing this area here. So both lifters are closed. That's what I'm checking for. Here we got. They seem like they're in the right spot. I don't see anything that would indicate that the valve is stuck open. So when you hear the air wisping by, it's because you have a leak here usually. So the other place we have air going into or coming out is the crankcase as well. I think that gasket's too small. I have to look through here and see if I got a gasket for that size. But we'll, you know what, just for craps and grins, I'll entertain it again. We'll do it. Should have done it with the valve cover open to begin with, to ensure that it's been a while since I've done a head gasket, but should have done it while the valve cover was off, so you can clearly identify this. that guy stops. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's coming from the crank. And I could get the smoke test out now. I know you probably can't see it, but it's now pushed this valve open. So, bad head gasket, that's what I'm going to diagnose it as. So, I'll have to dig through the box. I'm going to give the gentleman a call. He's a pretty cool guy. And I ride motorcycles. If you got anybody that wants to tell a story about how to be careful out there on a bike, he can tell you, that's for sure. But we'll give him a call. I think I estimated this at it was $60 to pick up and drop off. It was $80 for diagnostic. We'll say $300 for a head gasket, depending on the price of the head gasket. And hopefully I can get a head gasket kit that has the exhaust gasket and a fresh intake gasket. Like I said, I don't think I have any in my box of gaskets here, but it's been a while since I looked through this box. I have 100 gaskets or more in here, and I don't think I have any for... Oh, maybe I do. That might be big enough. So let me give him a call. I think I probably have an exhaust gasket in there then if I have that. I'm not sure how I feel about this head gasket though. Maybe I can find one that has a steel reinforcement around the edge. This doesn't have the steel reinforcement around the edge that I can see. And I personally like those, but this gasket would definitely work. All right, now